to the Hook the Leg podcast. Of course, my name is Chris Fox. Joined today, he's back for each and every one of you. He's back because of the fans. The effing king of recovery. It's Jim Valley. Jim, how are you doing today?
I am doing great, Chris. Always a pleasure to talk to you and be on the show.
Come on now. Likewise.
No, I enjoy it.
I feel a bit sneaky as well. We're getting the show done before your weekly Wrestling Observer Live. So we're getting all Jim Valley's takes on SummerSlam and everything that happens surrounding SummerSlam. Fresh, hot.
Yes. Hot takes for everybody. Hot off the grill.
But yeah, and so Jim, people can find you live every Saturday on Wrestling Observer Live. What time is it? American time?
It is 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And all around the world, you can hear it everywhere, or just download it at WrestlingObserver.com at your convenience.
It's around
all your fair
6 p.m. UK time, and you do go live on your channel. Just search for Jim Valley on YouTube, and you'll find it. 10 a.m. That really is too early, isn't it?
Well,
it's too early,
especially for Friday. You know, you've got SmackDown. You used to have 3 hours of SmackDown that ended at 11 p.m. my time. And then that means, you know, you get maybe however many hours of sleep. Plus you got to write a show, produce the show. Plus maybe you've got a TNA pay-per-view. Maybe you've got a G1 to watch.
You've got Avril Lavigne cover songs to make.
That's right.
They don't make themselves.
No, they don't. I got things to do. You know, I mean, I try to have that show ready to go. It's not just me coming on and talking out my ass. It's me thinking about it, then talking out my ass. So it takes a lot of planning.
It's a lot harder than people think. Can I just say?
I like to do a show. A lot of people think that a show is just coming on and talking with your buddies and blah 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 blah. But you know, I have a goal. This is where I'm starting. This is where I want to go, and that's what I try to do each week: is give everybody a show. So,
I think you should try and negotiate for a lunchtime at least.
Okay. Well, the problem is not the Observer. The problem is shows on the Sports Byline Network.
And Saturday, a popular day, I guess.
Right. They got, you got fishing shows, and hunting shows, and car shows, and, NASCAR, soccer, football, whatever. So they just they do have one. The show runs twice. The show runs live at 10 and 1, and then it runs recorded, I think, at 3. So.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Get rid of that 10 a.m. slot and just go live at 3.
Right. Well, I want to do some stuff, but I don't mind. It is what it is. I've always, throughout my career, I've always sort of had that early 10 a.m. slot anchoring the news or whatever. I can't explain it. I can't get away from Saturdays.
Listen, the sickos need their news first thing in the morning with their cereal. And you're the man for it.
I guess so, yeah. Of course, a lot of times we're competing with, All In or, Saudi Arabia or whatever. A lot of times there's that too. I mean, Saturday is a packed show, and I'm convinced that Brian has talked to his buddies at WWE and made that happen. That's what I think.
Absolutely.
Make it easy on him and difficult on me.
Well, you do get plugged at the start of every other Wrestling Observer Live now. It took a while.
Jim Valley.
Now that name again is Jim Valley. That's Jim. Write this down on a Saturday morning.
Yeah. So Brian said, Jim valleys. It's very funny.
I love the way Brian talks when he gets quote angry unquote. And I tell you what, this is partly something to do with the medium of radio. But before I'd ever seen Brian's adorable little face, I was like, this guy sounds angry all the time. You know, you'll hear the clips. Like, this guy's furious all the time. And when you see he's a smiling, happy fella, it really helps, I think.
Brian sort of just kind of pretends.
It's hilarious.
Grumpy, like.
But now there's nothing when Brian is annoyed at something. It's comedy gold. I absolutely love it.
One thing Brian does better than me, because I've been on the radio for 30
too
years,
long, baby.
Too damn long. Anyway, I'm used to when you're on the microphone, not on camera. You're a lot of times doing things to make your voice emote. So I am much more animated. Brian can just sit there, static, and do a show, but I look very awkward.
He does about 9 shows a day.
I've just come to accept that. Yeah.
Well, now speaking of Brian, and this is Brian Alvarez, by the way, I should state. Brian, he's been getting dragged a little bit for not enjoying a CM Punk match. What did you think of SummerSlam, Jim, and the main event specifically?
I agree with Brian. I thought that match was... It was fine. I think Gunther should be a killer.
Yeah.
And I get that he lost to Jey Uso, but I feel like regardless of the story they told, he shouldn't have lost by choke out or tap out or whatever that was, and shouldn't have regained it with that. He should have been caught with something. But I feel like Gunther has lost too much lately. But maybe he's bulletproof. But I think a lot of people expected, Seth to come out and take it from CM Punk, because that was kind of the story. And now we're gonna go on and go forward with Punk chasing Rollins and doing some sort of feud, which I think a lot of people expected. And I'm fine with that. If Punk's fans want to see him regain the title, and I think it'll do well as far as a story goes.
I rewatched the match today, like Brian said that he might, because I was in the, I didn't think it was incredible, I didn't think it was awful, and rewatching it today, but again with those, then you've got that kind of mindset, like, okay, let's check out this terrible film and let's watch this terrible match, and then you watch it and you're like, it wasn't that bad. And on second viewing, I thought Punk wasn't. Okay, he was a little bit sloppier than he usually is, which is already sloppy, and it was a long match, so he was tired. But on second viewing, I didn't. I'm right in the middle. I think it was fine. I think it was fine to good. But
I don't understand why everyone's raving about John Cena and Cody Rhodes. I thought the match was fine. Clearly, they put a lot of effort into it. I will give them that. But
do you think maybe if they hit 8 or 9 attitude adjustments rather than the 6 or 7, it would have been?
So funny about that, because people always, Penta hits so many destroyers when you in AEW, blah blah blah. And now they root into doing all that. It's like, I don't know. I'm kind of over that aspect, but I just thought, while there was effort, there was no creativity. It was just the same kind of by the numbers match that those guys do.
Well, the Heyman booking of kicking out finishes turned up to maximum, and that's something that riles me up a little bit, because a standard AEW criticism is lack of selling, etc., no psychology, blah blah blah. But it's just everywhere you look in modern wrestling, in every company. So that always winds me up. And after the first FU, Cody's off immediately, and he's totally fine.
Well, I was watching some vlogger on YouTube, and they were going to some county fair in, I don't know, Arkansas or wherever. And, it's like a smaller fair. And so they had wrestling at the fair. Great, perfect for fairs. And the finish was simply my favorite move. What was Kobashi's? The Burning Hammer. So they hit,
AKA the Jim Valley Driver.
Yes, the DVD, the Jim Valley Driver. But it was, it was softer, more like Cena's attitude adjustment, just a Death Valley Driver. Well, that was the finish. One. And I was like, oh, well, that was kind of lackluster because it literally came out of nowhere. And I was like, well, that was boring. And I don't know, just watching Cena and Cody, it just felt like they were just kind of putting in effort, but there was no creativity, and just kind of going through the moves we've seen them both do countless times before. Everyone was saying how awesome it was. I was just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I'm kind of, if you want to use the star rating, 2.5 for both of those matches, maybe a 3 for the Cena one. But the mentality is, it's WrestleMania, so there's lots of kicking out of finishes. But it was that taken to some kind of a ridiculous degree.
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous. But the show overall, 2 days of SummerSlam.
It was, the women's match was good, the title match, and the three-way title match, I should say, and then the tag match with Roman, that was pretty good. But other than that, it was just so average, and I don't know. I just don't understand why fans, and I'm not saying people have to go out there and kill themselves. I don't want that. But I just like to see some creativity.
Yeah.
Just the jelly roll match was kind of fun too. God bless the guy for doing all he did.
Yeah.
I was fairly impressed by Logan Paul, doing his best with someone physically limited like jelly roll.
Yeah, Logan Paul did a really good job in that match, though. I really don't like to compliment him, so let's move on very, very quickly. No, Jelly Roll, unlike Travis Scott, you can tell. I'm sure Travis Scott's a wrestling fan, but I didn't see any of that passion from him when he was on screen. And people like Jelly Roll, Bad Bunny, you can, they really give it their all. They're passionate, and I know nothing of Bad Bunny's music or Jelly Roll's music really at all. But I as soon as you find out someone's a wrestling fan, it goes a long way. I'm like, okay, these guys are all right in my book.
Or, you're like Hugh Jackman when he was a guest host.
Yes.
And he put a lot of effort and respect into it. As long as you're giving it something and not treating it like a joke, I'm cool with it. I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But then after the John Cena Cody Rhodes match, something happened. That cheeky little scamp, Brock Lesnar. I don't know what your initial reaction was, Jim, but when I heard his music, I said out loud, "Oh, fuck off." Because I'm already getting, in the Psycho Fox Discord, there's some who are now not watching WWE at all, and I completely respect that. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm watching the MAGA show again. And then this stuff happens at the end, and you're like, come on, David, you don't, you don't help yourself sometimes. But as far as we know, nothing's changed with the lawsuit, right? Yet WWE Legal have said he's good to go for a month.
Whatever that means. I've had some people, when I've criticized this, say, "Oh, Jim, you're kink shaming." Someone accused me
What?
of kink shaming because Brock, allegedly asked for Janelle Grant to send him a video of her urinating. Now, look, I think, look, if that's your kink, if it's two consenting adults, I don't care. Don't care.
It's the wrong element to take away from that whole story, isn't it?
But yeah, it kind of is. Kind of. Well, that's the thing. There are so many wrong elements that people are taking out of this to CYA, totally cover their ass and defend this. It's like, it has nothing to do with kink shaping. And honestly, it has.
I still can't believe that.
What it has to do with is, this woman who, found herself in a terrible situation, being forced to do these things. And, forced to be a part of Brock, to coerce Brock, encourage Brock to sign his WWE contract, making her, a bargaining chip, if you will. That is the issue.
Oh yeah, 100%. And in terms of intimidating men as well, I mean, they're all powerful men, but to be told essentially, that you have to do things with this man. I mean, what an absolute, a terrifying prospect.
People are like, oh, some people calling him his girlfriend. Some people saying, oh, what? She could have just left. And I'm like, could you just leave against a billionaire? Could you? Now, I mean, like, for example, we know that Vince and Trump were, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, still best friends. We know allegedly that Stormy Daniels, when she was dealing with Trump, she had people driving up and threatening her. Mm-hmm. Certainly, when dealing with an unscrupulous billionaire, it is feasible to think that could happen. I'm not saying it did.
It's feasible to think that they could have you killed.
Right.
And face zero repercussions, of course.
Right. And I'm not saying they did that. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. But, when you're dealing with people who have a lot of money and a lot of power, a guy who left his entire roster in Saudi Arabia when he was fighting with the king, BS,
yeah,
dealing with money. When you're talking about a guy who left, the poor woman.
Ashley.
Thank you, Ashley. I'm so bad with names these days. I apologize. Who left Ashley Massaro after she was sexually assaulted. They left her. It's not Home Alone. We're not talking about Kevin McAllister here. This is a woman who was intentionally assaulted while people waited outside the door, and then she was abandoned in the country. These things happen. And, is Vince unscrupulous? It's entirely possible that he is, allegedly. So it's just, to say, oh, she could have gotten away. It's like, Don't be ridiculous.
Well, and there's one group of people who come up with those arguments. It's weird men on the internet.
Yes, that's exactly
every single time.
Yeah, and it's just, and if she could have gotten away with it, and if she was the girlfriend, just the girlfriend. One last question that people seem to forget. In the beginning, the board of directors, including Vince's son-in-law, Vince's daughter, and Nick Khan, among others, all voted Vince out. Now, if it was just his girlfriend who was wanting all this money and the gifts and everything, why did they do that?
And why have they kept Brock off TV for so long?
Right.
Not just for and continued to pay him.
Right.
I mean, I know they've got a little bit of cash, but still.
Look, I mean, I understand at MetLife, the crowd going crazy and everything. It's like, what the? There's probably people excited. There's probably people stunned. And, there's probably a whole range of emotions throughout the thunderous response. So, really telltale signs are going to be when Brock next appears on television and how. And, once people get used to it, what are the responses going to be?
Mm-hmm.
And given John Cena, his career, movies, all this stuff, it seems like a very, very odd choice to me. If they're pinning it on Cena, that he's the one who wanted to.
Triple H saying, well, John, hey, John just really wants to work with him, everybody. And John's immediately gone, I just do what they tell me. So,
right.
So they know. But there's one question for you though, Jim. You enjoying the show?
Yeah.
It's all part of the show.
Yeah.
There will be no media scrum tonight.
Just seriously, it's not like they get asked difficult questions. They get asked kayfabe questions by these podcast kids who think, years ago, Bob Roop was giving an interview and he says, the thing with WWE is everyone believes they're just a phone call away. They're just a phone call away from getting that six-figure, whatever it is, job again. And these people think that they're, going to get that job. Or they're going to get special treatment if they suck up to Triple H or Cody or Randy Orton or Becky Lynch, whatever. As opposed to asking the hard questions. And you don't have to be a jerk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Asking hard questions. You can be nice about it. But, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do.
When there were questions bordering on tough questions, you could hear the atmosphere in those WWE media scrum rooms immediately change and it's like, well, but the question was always like, why are you doing these press conferences, you guys? It just seemed completely pointless,
especially for them. But I mean, if they're afraid of the softballs they get at these press conferences, that should tell you how afraid they are. They're basically getting, Mr. Burns, your campaign has the momentum of a runaway freight train. Why are you so popular?
No, that's a tough question, Jim, but a fair one.
Yes.
Well, that's why it's so amazing to see people like South Park with their recent episode, or rewind a few years, Punk criticizing the Blood Money shows, and we all know how that story ended. But that's why I love seeing people who have the courage to stand up to billionaires, corporations.
Yeah, and then they're left, and they're locked out of the press conference, like John Pollock and Wei Ting and Brandon Thurston. But I mean, one of the things that bothered me is when Triple H answered a few questions. I think it was in February after the Royal Rumble that year. And people asked him, what rules and things have you set up to protect your talent?
Yes, I remember that.
And his answer was, all of them. And that was it. No one ever asked him. We've never seen a list. We've never seen procedures or anything. And that's personally what bothers me about this situation is we should have, public policy procedures that everyone has seen. So we know talent is protected in such situations.
Absolutely, because how are the female WWE superstars feeling right now?
Right.
And they're going to be expected to shake his hand backstage, and
Yes.
and they can't say anything about it, not on their social medias, to no one.
Well, and that's it. I mean, we also don't know how people feel about Brock. Maybe they love it, maybe they don't. It's hard to say. I mean, there's so much I wish I could say. Let's just put it that way. But I can't. It's a dirty business, and there are some, people who have, done some things for the sake of the business, let's just say. And it's just, I don't know. But everyone's making a lot of money, so no one wants to say anything, and no one will.
I felt so deflated after the show on Sunday night, and then WWE's social media channels are all, hey, what did you think of Brock coming back? And also, I know every social media channel for every business now is like this, from McDonald's to Coca-Cola or whatever. But WWE social channels now seem to be run by a 9-year-old because the captions are like, we can't even, and a gif under, and I was like, guys, you're a $1 billion company. I mean, can we not have a little bit of, do you know what I mean? That's just the way of the world. But I also see those kind of Nikki Bella's return is giving blah blah blah, and I'm like, you guys have just brought an alleged wrong'un back onto your script, and it just felt so tone deaf and infuriating. But that's for the regular fans, isn't it, who don't know about all of this stuff? You would assume.
It's like, like I mentioned, they haven't put in any new rules and procedures for talent, for safety, that we're aware of, that we've seen publicly. And it's like, okay, can you say that Brock didn't know without a shadow of a doubt about the situation? It's entirely possible that maybe Brock was led to believe something else. Well, then tell us. If Brock is a victim in this whole thing, or didn't know, something to that effect, then say it. And they haven't. And I don't think they will.
No, I mean, there's been a couple of questions put to Triple H over the last, how long has it been now, 1.5 years? And what did he say recently? Allegations are just allegations. Let's just continue to ignore it and move forward, basically.
It's complicated.
He's a complicated fellow, that Brock Lesnar. It's a complex legacy, Jim.
Here's the thing. Brock's matches have been nothing but suplexes now for, 3 years? Something like that.
Way longer,
Like,
yeah.
It's like, why? And John Cena is a mess. He can't go. Why does John Cena want to subject himself to that, during his last feud or second to last feud? And, here's the other thing. I have heard up until, I don't know, a year or two, how terrible the booking is in AEW. It's terrible. They don't have characters. They don't tell stories. It's just flipping. It's all blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like, that John Cena heel turn has been garbage. And the babyface turn was even bigger garbage.
One promo and you're all done. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Everything's fine. I'm just like, no one criticizes that. No one just accepts it. I'm just like, wow.
Now, I have seen a lot of people, quite rightly outraged, and that's good. I want to see it. But
yeah,
you'll always have everything's so insane at the moment. No matter what you want to talk about online, there's no nuance. There's crazy people. There's bots. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But to me, WWE have just looked around. They've seen the climate. They've seen what you can say and get away with nowadays without losing your job or being cancelled. Nazi salutes are back in, Jim. Nazi salutes are back. And so they've said, you know what? We've played it smart. We've had zero mentions of Trump since 2016, despite him being in the WWE Hall of Fame, despite the McMahons being the biggest financial backers to both campaigns. They've kept quiet because they didn't want to alienate half or something like half of their demographic. Are they now just, like I said, they've seen the climate and they just think, fuck it, we don't care if people stop watching because we've got that money, that Netflix money, that Saudi money?
I just wonder if they just feel like their audience, for the most part, isn't going to go anywhere. Or they've done some research that says, the UFC audience is super loyal. And, why don't we try to get some of that UFC audience because, they're more loyal, they spend more money, or something to that effect. Or maybe they just live in a bubble and they think that everyone thinks this way and they're just going to do it. Your guess is as good as mine, but I would think it probably has something to do with loyalty or some business aspect.
And UFC, of course, have been not shying away from the Trump factor at all. They essentially say, we're a very scummy company.
Right.
Take it or leave it.
But
people still take it.
Here's also the thing. Is presidents tend to lose at the midterm elections. And, every one of them, Bush, Obama, Trump, and it's like there's always that backlash, and it's like you're jumping on the bandwagon of any president at the worst possible time. And it's like, I just don't know. Maybe people just don't care. Maybe it doesn't matter because so many people are in their own bubble that it doesn't matter. But usually presidents tend to lose at the midterms. And we'll see what happens.
I heard something very interesting the other day about these people with these wild opinions and viewpoints these days. It's not even views that they hold. It becomes their whole identity, and then there's no going back.
Right.
That's why you can't win an argument with someone online because there's they are not open enough to see any kind of other side. But I find that very strange because for me, I was a huge CM Punk fan, and various actions over the years have soured me on that fandom that I had. One of my favorite bands of all time, Queens of the Stone Age. Josh Homme, the lead singer, has done some stupid things over the years, and I can't, when you want to bring in the whole separate the art from the artist conversation into it, I cannot. And I think that as you get older, you just become a lot more, or you should anyway, become a lot more aware and caring about the stuff that matters in life. When you're young, you can shrug that stuff off more easily. But these are adults now who have all the information and just say, I don't care. I need to see an F5 at Survivor Series. That's the most important thing to me.
Yeah, I just want things to work. And I don't care if it's, liberal or conservative or what have you. I just want results. That's what I want. And I just don't see these things as getting results. Well, getting results for certain people, but not the right people. So I don't know. My feeling is that I think too many people have, for the longest time, years and years, WWE has presented itself as a cause. Almost like it's a nonprofit. Stand up for WWE.
Oh yeah.
Look at all these people who are against us. And I think they've done a tremendous job with that.
I mean, they really have, because they've got people feeling sorry for a billion-dollar company who present various criminals over the last 40 to 50 years. And you mentioned like conservative versus liberal or whatever. It didn't used to be like this. There was a video game podcast, for example, that I used to listen to. There was a Republican guy on that, Colin Moriarty, but it was never a problem. Pre-Trump, it felt like we could all coexist a lot better. And now the division worldwide that seeped into all of our hobbies that we love as well, it's just too much to bear.
Back in the 80s, Ronald Reagan, conservative, Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill, old-time Democrat. They would fight, on the floor or in the media, but then they'd go out and, grab a drink after work, that kind of stuff. And that doesn't really happen anymore, because everything is pro wrestling. They're your enemy.
Yeah.
They're, this and that, and the other thing, and that's unfortunate.
It's so divisive and so tribalistic in video games, in anything you want to talk about online. It's not fun, and it's a real shame.
Like I'll see, what's it called? I think it's called Squared Circle Jerk on Reddit.
Okay.
And I'll peruse it every now and like they always their thing is always fed bad. And I'm like, guys, just because you say that doesn't mean that they're perfect, that they're infallible. And it's just having a contrarian opinion and trying to be funny is one thing.
A lot of people forget the funny part of it, I've noticed online. Just straight to the vitriol.
Yeah, and it's like I can laugh at jokes about me or jokes about things I like or don't like or whatever, but it's like there's no real punchlines. It just kind of feels like they're defending some
just horrible people.
Horrible people, just by saying, fed bad. It's like, no, that's not quite the way it works, guys.
Because I this may sound cheesy or whatever, but I believe that comedy, laughing together, is one of the greatest weapons that we have. With Trump, when I see people making jokes about him online, I'm like, this is good. That's fighting back in a way. And again, the South Park episode, a great moment for that. But yes, I just think, and then I find you can find common ground with people if you start trying to have a laugh with them, even if you disagree. But online, there's no nuance. It's all been lost.
Yeah, I mean, I'll make jokes about wrestlers I like or things I like. It doesn't, it's all kind of fair game. And, if there's a joke there that's funny. I haven't had one in a while, but I love the Comedy Central roasts. When Nikki Glaser roasted Tom Brady, that was the best set for a roast probably in history. It was just hilarious. And I just think that as long as people understand that it's all in fun, it's totally fine.
So you're excited for the next WWE roast then?
The one that got canceled. That guy's not funny. What's his face? He's a hack.
Yes.
I mean,
but he's
just a hack.
According to WWE, he's the go-to guy if you want to organize a roast.
No, he's not. But yeah, they canceled it, and it's like, how bad is it when they don't televise it, they don't let phones in, they don't let anybody record it? It's like, what are you even doing?
Yeah, I didn't see the point of doing it at all.
No, and it sounds like it wasn't funny. It's like there has never been a good wrestling roast ever.
Roasts aren't even a thing in this country. I don't know why. I think maybe the biting British sarcasm might just come across as just too mean. But it's not a thing over here. But Tab in the chat asks, Psycho Fox roast when? Every day I stream, I get roasted in the chat, Tab, and you know this. Okay?
Well, yeah. I mean, I did a roast of Ric Flair myself right around the time they did it. And, there's like, one good line. So, what are you going to...
Writing comedy is hard.
But
it's really hard.
It is hard. It is hard.
Being funny off the cuff is very... Writing comedy is really, really difficult, especially if you're writing by yourself,
Yep.
And you've got no one to bounce ideas off of. It's ridiculous. But WWE, just tying a whole bow on this thing today, WWE, they had such a great chance to become the babyface company that they hadn't been possibly ever. After Vince exited, the booking improved, and there were all these positive changes. And I just thought, this feels very strange to have WWE be the babyface. But they've just completely squandered. They could have. And I'm not saying Vince leaves, all the problems go away. Still bad people there. I can't believe Michael Hayes and Bruce Pritchard. What are they still doing there? I'm going off now on a personal tangent because I think I got the Punk DVD, the Kevin Owens DVD, all these DVDs, and on every single one of them, Michael Hayes was just... They cut to Michael Hayes and he says, well, I just don't think it was the right time. But they went with him anyway. I was like, yes, Michael Hayes, you say that on every DVD. I don't know what you do anymore. And I thought that he'd gone. I thought he was put on some kind of leave, but he's back now, I guess.
No, I mean, he's had a hell of a career. You gotta give him that. I know Meltzer Dave thinks that Michael Hayes was some, A-plus talker, but I never really saw it. I saw him as a guy who just parroted songs, song choruses he heard on the radio. And it's like, I don't know, I never thought he was a great talker.
I just can't...
Maybe in world class, but not.
Well, they did get rid of those Vince, the sniveling Vince suck-ups, or quite a lot of them. So I'm just very surprised to see Bruce and the aforementioned Michael Hayes there as well. But,
last, you never know.
But they
gotta give him credit.
WWE, like I said, they just... The message I got when I saw Brock come out on Sunday was that we don't care. It was right back to that Vince, I don't care what people like, I tell them what they like, and then they like it.
We can do whatever we want.
Mm-hmm. And I think...
and there's
do you think any sponsors will have a problem this time with this?
It's a great question. I don't know how much they're paying attention. I don't know how much, dust up there is in the real world outside of the wrestling bubble. I don't know. I saw that, CBS Sports had an essay on it that was very negative. And it's like, does that garner any traction? Did WWE do any legwork before they brought him back, checking with sponsors?
Maybe.
Does Dude Wipes care? that Brock Lesnar's back. I'm gonna go on a limb and say, Dude Wipes does not care if Brock Lesnar's back.
Listen, if Wingstops don't care, then I'm not going. And I love Wingstop, but I will go maybe 2 times a week instead of the 5 that I currently do. How dare they?
They have Wingstop.
Yes, it's recently made it over here, and it's pretty good. Not everything survives the journey, but Popeyes, Wingstop are good over here. Can confirm.
That's funny. Yeah, just does the general care that Brock is there? I don't know.
Was it because it was Snickers with the Moolah Battle Royal, wasn't it?
Right, Snickers cared, and then Slim Jim cared about Vince.
So now why would Slim Jim not care about Brock Lesnar when he's named 44 times in the complaint?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Maybe Brock's bought a lot of Slim Jims over the years. I couldn't say.
Possible. It's just I just wonder. Brock obviously he's got enough money.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't like people, and it's like he told various people he was retired. So was he working people? Did they change his mind? Is this a contractual thing where he has to fulfill his dates? I don't know, but it does seem odd about that given what we know about Brock, and it's amazing. It's Cena made the call. Cena just does what they say, and I think that's going to be the answer we get in perpetuity. Just a bunch of fingers pointing around.
Yeah.
We'll never get it.
I'm surprised they said anything, to be honest, even though it was complete nonsense,
Yeah. No, but, I mean, all of all of MetLife Stadium booed the Trump video. But granted, you're in New York, New Jersey, not exactly a Trump stronghold. So you're going to get that booing. Do they care about Brock? From what I've seen, a lot of people forgot the story or have misinformation. Or a lot of people haven't read.
Willfully ignorant, yeah.
Yeah. They think they know the story, and they don't.
When they showed the Triple H Trump footage on Saturday night, I thought, oh no, they never do this. Oh dear. So I should have known. But the big question is, are we going to see Vince McMahon back on WWE TV soon?
Yeah, that's going to be the ultimate test, I guess. I feel like, regardless of whether, Janelle Grant settles or whatever happens, let's say somehow Vince, is, not charged or it doesn't go to court. Somehow he gets out of this whole thing. Like Houdini, he gets out of this whole thing, however it is. I still think, you don't bring him back because I still think his name is tarnished. People know he's not a good guy.
And Brock's a wrestler, at least, who can be put in programs. Like, what are you going to do with Vince? Just bring him out and here he is, and it just doesn't seem worth it.
No, and also, Vince is, almost 80? Or is he 80? And it's like...
Well, he does 80 miles per hour down a quiet country road, I'll tell you that much. My God, what is he doing? Put someone... If this was your grandfather... You wouldn't let him out. You wouldn't let him drive, and you wouldn't let him on television. Just granddad, just sit in the corner of the room and be racist. For crying out loud.
I don't know. Some people have speculated that he was driving fast because he just got the word that Hulk Hogan had passed away.
My God. That's almost as good as Hogan. My beer made me racist. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I would maybe drive slower and stop and,
Oh, get a
look
driver.
at the water. Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand some of these people.
According to the chat, yeah, he'll be 80 on August the 24th. So maybe we'll all be singing "Happy Birthday, Vince" on Raw soon. My word.
I would. I'm not even going to speculate. Brock's back. He's working a program with movie star John Cena. That's the thing. It's like, John, I guess, does Hollywood not care? Is he not concerned it's going to hurt his bankability?
Well, especially after the Rock. Yeah, Hercules, I think, was the film he filmed at the time. That had to be pushed back quite a way after he got injured in a match.
Right. Yeah. He pulled his, like a muscle in his abdomen or something. Yeah, there's a lot of things at play here. And what happens when the first piss sign shows up at Raw or SmackDown?
I think, never mind a defamation lawsuit, we'll have a defecation lawsuit on our hands. Huh?
Exactly.
Thought that one in the shower earlier.
I like that one. That's a good one. I mean, it just feels like, what, well, here's the other thing I wonder. If you believe what Meltzer is saying, and I do, about Raw numbers on Netflix being soft, did they bring Brock back because they, and it's obviously Raw, he's going to be, in theory, on SmackDown, but maybe John Cena goes back to Raw and they put it on Netflix. They needed a shot in the arm for something.
Yeah.
And they ran out of Samoans in talk. So they
well, and there's the age-old argument of, why isn't Cena wrestling one of the younger talents in his few remaining months? We've seen Cena and Lesnar 2012 and the much superior 2014, 2015, where he took like those 16 germs in a row or something. So we don't even need to see it.
I don't think so. Cena is given a lot to the business. I don't mean disrespect, but he's washed. And that's understandable. He had a lot of physical matches and worked incredibly hard for many years. It's completely understandable. It's like, why does he want to do this match now? And also it's like, okay, he wrestles a young guy, which now it's got to be a heel. Which young guy? Does he now fight his buddy, Logan Paul? Does he, who is there?
Triple H.
Yeah. I think Triple H.
And have you taken the presidential fitness test yet, Jim?
I haven't, but when I was a kid, I did. Yeah, we had it when I was a kid. And I was really good. I could do everything except run. I could never get the speed to where I could get the medal or whatever it was, the certificate. I could do sit-ups and push-ups and everything like that, no problem. But because I had this condition I didn't know about, I was just slightly too slow, so that sucked.
You still sound good enough. Get you down the performance center immediately.
Yeah.
Well, now that Triple H's presidential test, I hear, is just going to be just shooting up a load of roids and lifting a load of weights. So you're going to have a very strong nation in a few years.
Is it going to be the sledgehammer swing, and maybe they'll see how far you can spit water?
Oh yeah, I tell you what, now you're making it enticing. I might have to come over there and take the test.
Yeah, maybe it's the goal is to try to date the president's daughter and pass the test that way.
Just got a message in chat about Tanahashi killing it in the G1. I haven't caught any of the G1 this year, Jim. Are you watching it?
I'm starting to catch up. Yeah, I'm starting to catch up. Yeah, I don't understand how he's doing this, but it's nice to have some good memories at the very end. So, yeah, that's good.
So the opposite of John Cena's last year.
Boy, if they've really, it's driving me crazy how, this John Cena thing has been a disaster. And these people don't seem to care. It's like, is there anything that's going to turn, I'm not praying for anyone's demise, but wrestling always comes in waves. People get tired of seeing it, the same stuff, or they burn out because the next angle or storyline isn't as good, and that crowd goes away. Wrestling is always cyclical. And I'm like, is there anything that's going to turn this crowd off? I mean, we've seen some pretty bad stuff, and with major angles, and it hasn't turned anybody off. I'm like, well, maybe this is just the run that lasts forever in some way.
Well, some of these people are people who didn't stop watching through any of the Vince years, so I guess they can deal with anything and just shrug it off and say, that's fine. Because there's times when I've been so frustrated with that company over the last 20 years that I had to stop watching for my mental health. Because I was like, this is an infuriating 2 hours on a Monday night. I can't do it. If you're not covering a show for your podcast at the moment, Jim, are you watching regularly on Netflix?
I don't have Netflix. I'm an HBO Max guy.
Gotcha.
I've always had HBO Max. I had Netflix when the Vince McMahon documentary came out. I find myself only liking one or two things on Netflix. I'm just never been a Netflix guy. And this is pre-AEW, pre-WWE. We're just, I loved Righteous Gemstones. I just like the stuff that's on HBO Max better. I loved White Lotus. There's just stuff I like on that more than I like on Netflix. I mean, I loved The Glass Onion. I watched that for sure. That was great. I liked Don't Look Up. But, other than stuff, a couple of things, I'm just not a Netflix guy.
Yeah. The Bradley Cooper flashback episode of Righteous Gemstones from the latest season was incredible.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was so great.
I love Eastbound and Down so much in terms of the comedy, but I think as a complete thing, I think the Righteous Gemstones might be the best thing that they've done.
Kills me. And this last season was so fun.
Yeah.
I just died. Teenjus. Oh my god.
Teenjus.
So fun.
Yeah.
Teenjus.
Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Well, I mean, Jim, we should probably start wrapping up now. I mean, do you want to touch on any Switch 2 excitement before the end?
I do want to touch on one thing, and this is not a criticism. SummerSlam, very successful, 2 nights with 40,000 people is a big deal, okay? I'm not downplaying it, but I am curious, given the success WWE's had, they're in the New York, New Jersey market. WrestleMania has sold out MetLife Stadium. Why didn't SummerSlam? Is it because the New York audience, wants the #1 show and not the #2 show? It just kind of struck me as funny that why it didn't sell out. And again, I'm not saying it's a failure, anything like that. It was very much a success, but it just, you'd think it would sell out.
Do you think it's a problem with the 2 nights? Because it was another one of those shows where it felt like a single night card stretched over 2 nights. Do you think that's part of it?
Yeah, maybe that could be it. But I just wonder if it's just the New York, New Jersey audience. They're just used to the best of the best. And while SummerSlam is, the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 card, maybe that's it. But I just thought that was unusual.
Well,
That's just me.
I mean, at least if you want to look at a positive side, WWE is the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to things to talk about on wrestling podcasts.
Boy, is it ever. Boy, let me tell you. So yeah, as far as Switch 2, you talked me into getting Bonanza.
And I was starting to feel
Donkey Kong
bad because you said you weren't as big an Odyssey fan as other people, and I was playing Donkey Kong the other day, and I was like, you can really feel the Odyssey DNA in this. I was like, oh God, I hope Jim likes it.
You can, but it's like it's more hands-on. I think I didn't like all of the using all the tools and things. When I play a Mario game, I want to be Mario. I don't want to, be a hat or whatever you are. I love Bonanza is so much fun as far as destroying things, but at the same time you got to be strategic about it. It is tremendous, and I love the look of the games, how big all the worlds are with both Bonanza and Mario Kart World. I mean, it looks like, especially Mario Kart, looks like an arcade game, and I love that. It's a lot of fun. Thing is, though, when I play Mario Kart, I play it in like bites. I'll play like one race, and then it'll be done. I don't sit there and play for like hours and hours when it comes to Mario Kart, but that's just me.
I was playing it.
How about you?
More. I was playing just that for a long time. In that first month, because we didn't have that single player game that I needed. But yeah, Mario Kart's a pick up and play. It's going to last you years in terms of multiplayer, maybe new tracks down the line. But I think you need a deep single player experience for a launch. Very curious why only a month later Donkey Kong hit, but oh well. I'm very happy. I've been enjoying it. A completely different new type of gameplay for me, tunneling your way through to find all the treasure. I've been loving it.
Yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. Looking forward to Metroid 4, Metroid Prime.
Oh yes, can't
4.
wait.
That is my jam. I love the first-person Metroid games. Love the two-person Metroid games.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Looking forward to that. That's probably the reason I got the Switch too.
I cannot wait.
And also, yeah, I just hope it's good. It's gotta be good.
Oh yeah,
It's gotta be good.
there's no way it won't be good after they basically restarted the whole project from the beginning, because it wasn't up to scratch. So there's no way this won't be at least good. I'm going to put my reputation on the line there.
Right, when they do that, it's very well thought out. And also, I'm such a Zelda mark. It's like they've got, sort of a slightly faster, slightly smoother version of the Zelda games. It's 0.0% better. And because of that,
Tears of the Kingdom did need that little boost, though, didn't it? It deserves to look prettier like it does now, I think.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love it because, I'm a mark for that. They've got me pretty much.
You mark.
Yeah, I am. Oh, I admit it.
Does Fight Forever...
I admit it. It's like...
Have you tried Fight Forever on the Switch 2? Does it get any kind of boost?
Oh, that's a good question. I gotta check. I should check. I'm kind of bummed thinking about the Brock stuff and everything. It's like, I am not going to, get WWE 2K25 now.
It's an insanely large download as well, so you'll be saving the storage space as well.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna wait and see. anything else comes next. I would love to have a Fire Pro on Switch. That's what I would love.
Oh, it'll happen one day.
Like a new Fire Pro for Switch,
I'm sure that
Switch,
will happen.
would be. Has anybody played? What is it called? Wrestle. Oh gosh.
Empire.
Wrestling Empire. Thank you.
We have played that on this channel, and it is it's one of the funniest games I've ever played in my whole life. It's made by one guy, so it's janky, hilarious, but it's also incredible. It's very tough to describe, but I do recommend it. It's very, very funny. It's so hilarious.
I've got the other wrestling game, the one that plays like WrestleFest. Forget what that one's called too. Jeez, I suck. Anyway, I like it, but I wish the roster was either all modern or all old guys.
Sure.
Because it's just kind of weird to have the Legion of Doom and Zack Sabre Jr. It's just, or Johnny Nitro.
That game's got a really weird selection of people. The Meanie and Stevie Richards.
Well, yeah. I'm just like, I just wish it was one or the other. And they're adding now Randy Savage, Rock and Roll Express, and Demolition. So that's coming up sometime soon. So I'll probably get those to download as well.
Well,
I went through. I'll play Fight Forever. I'll get back to you on that.
yeah, because it's while we were waiting for Donkey Kong to come out, it was just so much fun going back through my Switch 1 library, and those games are looking the best they ever have, and they're playing the best they ever have. So you had that, you had all those games at launch, which was really, really cool, I thought.
Yeah, no, I like Fight Forever, but I really, I have a theory. I think that Fight Forever, wasting so much time on traveling and mini games and all these things, really, I think it contributed to some of the negative backlash that AEW has experienced, because AEW was supposed to be, for the sickos or whatever you want to call it. And this video game with Kenny Omega, who plays video games, was supposed to be, sort of the video games nerds wrestling game, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It's not very deep, and it's like, I understand part of it, because the Switch only has so much power and so much memory, and if you don't cut back on some things, it's going to be,
No, but it was the same on the
WWE.
other platforms where that's not an issue.
Yeah. Well, I understand they crossed over and saved money and all that stuff, but it's just, they should have spent much more money much more time on the creator wrestler, and more moves, and more things that have to do with the gameplay.
I did the campaign as well. Was if you did it more than once, you see a lot of the same parts over and over again. Because I was trying to unlock the exploding cage match, and I just had to keep seeing these same segments over and over again. I got pretty sick of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to sit in a restaurant. I mean, it's kind of funny that they're kind of mimicking and give you an idea of life on the road, but it seems like just a waste of memory to do that. But yeah, I feel like it alienated some fans and hurt AEW's perception to a degree. I think it contributed to sort of that AEW downfall.
I think that's fair. It was one of the many things that happened at once for AEW.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But the game itself is not mechanically that bad. I did have fun with it, but it's a shame. And AEW games are very, very quiet right now, so I don't think if we'll see anything from them again. Who knows?
I'd be very, very surprised. I just don't know what the hell happened.
At least we got. At least we got something If you want to be positive, you know.
Yeah, we got something. I mean, it's fun to play, to pick up and play, and also I think that might be me too. It's like the wrestling games I have, I also just kind of pick up and play them. I don't spend as much time on them as I used to, and it's fine. It's fine, but it's not anything I'm passionate about.
Well, there's a company called Analog, and they've got a 4K Nintendo 64 finally releasing this month. Well, we hope it will ship this month. But I cannot wait to jump into those Aki wrestling games again on stream in high definition. It's going to be fantastic. I was thinking about that, Pat.
Have you played?
Go on, Jim.
Played the WrestleMania in game and the WCW Saturday Night, that ROM hacks?
I've tried to get a few of those hacks working myself in the past and given up quickly, but I've seen that you can. I've seen the ones that you picked up. I think you mentioned them on the stream, and I think all of that stuff is so cool. But even the vanilla No Mercy, that story mode has got 1,000 branching paths, and I've still not seen all of them in 2025. And so I'm excited to go back to that rather than play the AEW Fight Forever career mode ever again.
It's fun to play the ROM hacks. Like I said, I just bought them on AliExpress. They were like $18, but it's like I wanted to play on hardware. I didn't want to play on my computer. So
for sure.
All right, man. Well, it's a pleasure always to talk to you.
You just took the words right out of my mouth, Jim. Now, Jim, you can find Jim every Saturday, Wrestling Observer Live, the Pacific Ring podcast with Fumi, the Portland WrestleCast.
I haven't done one of those in a while, but the Fumi one on Hulk Hogan is pretty good, and it goes nearly 2 hours. So if you haven't heard that, and you're a subscriber, I'd hear that. And also, if you're a subscriber to the Observer, it would be great if you could make a little noise about my shows. That would be very helpful.
Well, that's what we're doing right here, right now on this platform that reaches, I can only assume, millions of people. Twitch.tv/thesidebox.com. But we're getting a lot of thank you, Jims, in the chat. You're appreciated here. You do amazing work, Jim. Informative,
we try.
Entertaining. You're going to learn stuff when you listen to a podcast with Jim on it, if that hasn't been clear over the last hour. And you can find Jim at jimvalley.bsky.social, or just search for Jim Valley on Blue Sky. You'll find him.
Right. I'm also on Instagram, Jim_Valley on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook. I don't do a lot of wrestling on Facebook. If you want the wrestling stuff, it's pretty much just Blue Sky. I got off of Twitter X just because I didn't like the fact that some guy didn't like the conflict of interest with Elon Musk, being part of the government and benefiting from it.
Oh, you don't have to explain negative opinions about X in this chat, Jim.
Yeah.
Not for a second. But also do give Jim's YouTube channel subscribe to that, Jim Valley. I always type in Jim Valley Wrestling in my search, and I'm there straight away. Even though, because I've typed in Jim Valley before, even though I'm subscribed to you, and YouTube it didn't bring up Jim Valley Wrestling. Subscribe on there.
There's a Jim Valley who is a cousin of mine, like a third or fourth cousin, and he was in the '60s band Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Oh, okay. Well.
So a lot of times on my Facebook, I'll get people, I'm old, but older than me, who message me and think I'm that Jim Valley. But, and he's a really nice man, so you probably got that Jim Valley as my kid.
Also, Facebook's the place where all of your friends go to you and me. Oh, you must be really sad about Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's probably your favorite wrestler, isn't he, Jim? Are you sad? Are you sad?
I mean, is Hulk Hogan a good person? But at the same time, he's not Hitler. I'm not happy. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not happy. There's no celebration. But I sometimes I get caught off guard and remember that Bray Wyatt's no longer with us, and I'll get emotional.
Right.
And that's not happened with Hogan. You know?
No, I mean, dude lived to be 71, and you consider the things that he did chemically, he lived a pretty long life.
Yeah.
And the guy was a star for, more than over half of his life, maybe 2/3 of his life, so, he had a great life, and anything that was a problem were pretty much just unforced errors.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't like the guy. I wish he would have done better, but at the same time, I don't celebrate his death.
Of course not. And there's the lesson, everybody. Let's all just try and do better. But Jim, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on today. Thank you so much again.
Anytime.
And thank you guys for watching as well, and for saying hi and keeping us company in the chat. I'll be back tomorrow with a regular stream that isn't a podcast. And like I said, you can find Jim every Saturday at Wrestling Observer Live. And that is the end. Go on, Jim.
You do Twitch. This is on Twitch.
Oh, yeah. This is on Twitch right now.
Okay. I don't know how any of this stuff works. I have a Twitch, and I'm thinking about maybe I just play games, but I don't know. I still have never done it.
Well, I've never streamed on YouTube and Twitch simultaneously before, but you can do that. So you could go live on your YouTube channel and on your Twitch channel at the same time for Wrestling Observer Live if you wanted to.
I'm going to have to change things up because of the hack that happened.
Have they still not sent you new credentials yet?
I do have credentials. I just need to get rid of StreamYard, my account, and then use it on the Observer. And so I got to figure out what I'm going to do going forward. We'll figure it out.
Gotcha.
So there you go. All right, man. Thank you again. Anytime you need me,
thank
just
you,
ask.
Jim. And everybody, thank you. And until the next time, don't forget to hook the leg.